So welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today, I just got back from vacation. I floated around in Lake Norman for a week. It was lovely. I love it down there. And today I'm going to be pulling the transmission out of this truck. First time for me to pull the transmission out of the truck. It was brought to me from like 5 hours away. After 2 previous installs, I ended up in burned up transmissions. So the transmission's still under warranty. We're gonna pull it out and see what we can see with it. Actually, we're not gonna see what we can see with it. We're gonna pull it out and give it back to the guys over at Jags. They're gonna hand us a new one. We're gonna stick it in here and then we're gonna see if we can figure out what the heck's going on and why it's burning up trans. So, if you wanna see what we do, stick around. Click like, subscribe, all that jazz. Bed mats everywhere. Wow. It's a pretty solid truck. It's a good start. Ooh, that's shiny. No AC. It's alright. You don't need AC to drive. Well, where's the TV cable at? If there's no TV cable, this transmission was doomed from the beginning.
Alright, that's good. Let it run. That's good. Alright, I just heard you say something.
It's got the hookup for it, although we'll have to see if Edelbrock needs a corrector. I know the Hollies require a corrector for the TV cable. I don't remember if the Edelbrocks do or not. I'll have to look that up. Alright, let's get this tranny pulled. Alright, custom cross member. Looks like somebody was trying to take this out. So there's not a lot of bolts in it. One bolt hole here. Got one bolt hole here. I'm gonna have to make some changes for that. Somebody was taking this out and got mad and brought it to me. We gotta find all the parts. I think there's only 2 bell bolts in it. Alright, well, this will be easy to get out. The problem is I need to know where all the parts are at. That's not a bad piece. brand new. guess that was adjusted wrong. Man, this truck's clean.
Shop truck doing shop truck things.
Alright, well, I had this truck in the shop the other day, and now it's time to get back in now that our parts are in. We're gonna try and put the new transmission in. Let's see if we can get it to last for more than 30 miles. Get this thing in the shop out of the heat. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's for something different. Dang it. Must be for turbo 350 and not 704. We'll just put that back in the box. Everything looks pretty good. O-rings on there. Don't feel like it's got any weird end play. Let's get this thing ready to go in the car, shall we? There. Pressure's running overtime today. Got the wire hanging out of there. Not allowed to stay in there. Ow, cooking. Oh, I need to put my dipstick in there. I should probably do that now before it's all bolted together. So much space to work on this thing. It's just to get an engine in an S10 and there's no space to work on those things. Cross number. I put my rack right where I need to put my bolts. That was dumb. Torque converter bolts. Put those in. Where did I put those? Did I put my clutch under bolts? Clutch under bolts. You get to watch me wander around looking for my bolts. That's not very exciting. Look at that, they're right where I left them. This guy rotates nice and free. Pick us a spot to start. This flywheel doesn't look to have a small hole. Sometimes the flywheels have one hole that's smaller than the other two. And it allows you to start that one first. And you can just tighten it all the way down, and then you move on to the other two, and they all line up. If you don't have one that's the smaller hole, then you have to kind of leave the torque converter loose and get all 3 bolts started. Otherwise you end up with one not fitting for some reason. At least that's the way it's always worked for me. Well, the transmission cooler in the radiator seems to flow fluid just fine. It's not dirty, so I'm going to run a quart of clean ATF through it. And I'll hook up my transcooler lines, and then we will set up our TV cable. And then hopefully, we'll be able to drive this thing out of here and get paid. That'll work. Oh, get off of there. I don't think that is correct. Let's put the Edelbrock 200-400R converter on. That will probably solve our transmission burning up issues. Fluid in the power steering. I like those headers. I got to figure out which headers those are. They fit nicely on this truck. So this is an Edelbrock adapter bracket for the GM 700R4, 204R, and the 4L60. Little bracket that bolts in there. And it does go in bolted, so it moves the pivot point upwards and backwards. And without this, it's you're probably going to burn up the trans. I highly recommend setting up your TV cable correctly, because if you don't, you're going to have to do it again. Bolt, washer, nut. I put that last bolt in when I've dropped it down. And these headers are nice and tight up in the belly of the car. I really like these headers. I really do. I'm going to have to get some of those. PCB is hooked up. Vacuum advance is hooked up. Temp sensor, ground on the intake. I normally put my grounds on my cylinder heads. Cylinder heads are usually the best place to put grounds, especially your ground straps to your chassis. I always like to do 2 ground straps from the cylinder heads, usually in the back or in the front, it doesn't matter. But 2 ground straps from each cylinder head down onto the frame rails. Your ground from your engine to your battery to your either your chassis or your body. I always like doing redundant grounds. I'm weird like that, I guess. It's got oil in it, enough. Ooh, I wonder if this is a roller cam engine or a flat tappet cam engine, and I wonder if they've broken it in. Ooh. I would assume they've broken it in because they've already put like 40 miles on it. I guess I don't have to worry about whether they broke it in or not, because if they didn't break it in, they've already destroyed the camshaft, if it's a flat tap cam.
That popped off way better than I thought it was gonna. Cold too. Smoking.
This is a non-smoking shop.
That. Not me for
Turn it off and do that. Otherwise, I'm sticking my hand in the fan. I'm gonna move your bench for you, Rich.
a lot of oil coming out of a brand new engine.
TV cable's a little too tight, but it's better to be too tight than too loose. I can back it off just a hair. Well, the good news is it's coming out of both valve cover gaskets. So it's dripping on my face. The bad news is it's coming out of both valve cover gaskets. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's pouring oil out right there. Those are supposed to be the good gaskets. Well, those didn't work very well. Oh, that stud's not all the way down in. That could be the problem. It was tight, but it wasn't tight, maybe? It's weird that it would do that on both sides. That was only in a thread. Here's a fine thread nut. Don't lose any of those because you don't have any of those in your bolt gun. Just run a thread chaser down that hole. These are just in finger tight. And they're hot. That was dumb. The valve covers are on upside down. This recess needs to be at the top. So we'll switch those around. I'm going to go ahead and put a cork gasket on this. Just because I like the way they squish better. And this being a no-name valve cover, I don't know if it's flat or not. So I put the extra holes up top. That way I have a nice solid gasket on the bottom. These studs actually work really nice for holding this on here. I'm very happy about those. More than likely, since this valve cover was on upside down, it was hitting here. Which is holding it up and allowing the oil to run down around the corner. The cork gasket will push into these holes and get held in and trapped in better too. But those recesses definitely need to be at the top. So we'll make a new line for my PCV because it moved my PCV from here to there. I like them back here better anyway. That's that. It probably won't leak now. After a couple heat cycles, I will go through and retorque the valve cover bolts because the cork seems to move around a little bit, but once they're locked down, they're locked down. So that should solve our oil leak from our valve covers. Let's figure out what the next thing is that we have to fix. But that's a good start. I do need to drop my TV cable back a click or two, and I think it'll be right where I want it, but that will be determined on the test drive. Alright. Let's kick her in the guts and see if she still acts like a colander. are really nice headers. They fit this truck really well. These are a Jegs brand header. 300 110 is their part number. They fit really well, but you cannot get the back two spark plugs in with a socket, so you got to use a 5/8 wrench. Not a big deal. You guys with headers understand that sometimes plugs can be a bear to change. Price of power. You put in a new set of spark plugs. We're seeing some weird temperatures on this side. And pulled the plugs out. Had one that had a really small gap, like somebody dropped it on the ground. And it was carbon black. That. And another one was also carbon black, like that. What's going on, dude?
Okay.
What can I do for you?
Figure out where you at with the Camaro.
Oh, here, let me show you.
Okay.
I was the fellow with the white Camaro. We're doing a Terminator X Stealth 4150 4-injector conversion on, and it's been here way too long because I'm short-handed in the shop and I need another mechanic to come on and help me out. If you're looking for a job, give us a call. We work on all sorts of crazy stuff, obviously. Let's fire this thing up with some new spark plugs, and it ought to run a heck of a lot better. Firing on all 8 now. Well, that about wraps up this little C10 project. It runs, it drives, it doesn't leak oil all over the place. Came into us for unable to get the transmission to hold itself together. We put it together, adjusted the TV cable, and seems to be fine. I've driven it about 35 or so miles. Runs, shifts, it shifts a little early. It could use a, what's it called, governor tune-up kit, or a governor tuning kit. It could also use a speedometer gear ratio change. So obviously this transmission is set up for a different gear ratio than what's in the truck. The truck drives pretty good. It needs shocks, it needs brake work. It's mildly terrifying to drive, but it does drive, stop, start, do everything it needs to do. The engine that's in it runs pretty good now that we have it holding the oil inside and not leaking all over the hot headers. At any rate, this red C10's all done, and I have another red C10 up on the rack that I'm getting started on. That one's a complete repower. New engine, new trans, new fuel system. We'll see how that goes. We have most of the parts here. That one's been here for a long time, and I'm just getting around to it, making time to do it because it needs to get done and move on down the line. At any rate, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. You guys have a great day. We'll see you around. Have a good night, Bruce.